Fire of Baphomet. The followers of Demon Lord Baphomet commit countless crimes to earn his favor. Carius was a servant of Desna who was in charge of the temple shelter, but secretly worshipped the Lord of Beasts. He took advantage of his position to build a cunning maze in the temple's secret basement and filled it with fierce and bloodthirsty monsters. Each night, Carius cast an overly trusting vagabond or homeless person into the maze where they met their grisly end. That's brutal. The cultists spread heresy and depravity, corrupting the other priests. Baphomet took note of his servant's guile and bestowed an incredible gift upon him. The spark, or the flame gracing the brow of the Lord of Monsters himself. The lantern containing the spark could summon fiery denizens of the abyss, and its swaying cold hypnotize or conjure terrifying illusions. Carius enshrined the flame of his lord and master at the very heart of his maze. But soon enough, an incredible thing happened. A lonely beggar boy, a frail and timid creature, fell into Carius's clutches and was cast down into the maze. Somehow he managed to survive and reached the very center of the trap. He reached out for the flame with his scraggly hands and was gone. Frightened and furious, Carius found the empty shrine and set out to pursue the pilferer. He feared that Baphomet might learn about this failure and punish his negligent servant. After a while, he learned of entire villages reduced to ash by fiery creatures, with their survivors driven insane by the eerie glow of the sinister flame. They raved and rambled about a frail beggar boy with hellish fire in the palm of his hands. Carius tracked the young man down. Fear tugged at his heart and nudged him toward madness. When he finally reached the boy, the beggar laughed and turned into a cocky young man, decked in the garb of an Baphomet cultist. The grinning rogue said it was the Lord of Monsters himself who had inspired him to steal the unholy flame and even devised the guise of the feeble child. Carius's failure would be his downfall, and the sneaky thief would take his place as Baphomet's most loyal servant. A fight broke out where both demon worshippers sought to destroy one another, but neither could gain the upper hand. When they became tired, the Lord of Beasts' flame slipped from the thief's sweaty hands and fell onto a pile of dead branches. Fiery creatures emerged from the fire and surrounded the weakened priests, the monsters' eyes glowing like embers. The cultists pleaded with their master for protection, but their appeals fell on deaf ears. The spawn of Baphomet's flame feasted on the sinner's flesh all night, and the fire burned out. Only a tiny spark of the unholy flame was left smouldering among the remains. That's a brutal story. Both died. Okay, so Baphomet doesn't care. Dangerous find was handed to the commander with great precaution. Still burning with unholy fire. Well, that's a dangerous treasure. What do we have here? Haste, prayer. Call lightning. Well, hello there. Sure. And we're going south. So we have a land connection to Beloras 4. Oh wait, there's an outpost? Oh, Sinister Mansion outpost, you know what? Dive Tricks, Crusade, yes. Sinister Mansion, Camp of the Mammoth Lords, perfect. And of course we're going to build stuff, right? Smartly buggy. Go north please. Of course we're going to build stuff here. Sinister Mansion, manage, perfect. Build. What are we going to build? There's an archery I want damage. Hall of Champion, Carister Spellcast Lodge. No. Hospitals, Inn, Mercenary Guild, Military. Ah, yes, Military Academy provides. Okay. Wait, no. That's not right. Monument provides all units with a 5. Yes, act twice. Very important. Pathfinder Society, Sanctuary, Shelter. Yes, a Smith. Yes, attack for all trainable units. I want that. Of course, we're going for Teleportation Circle. Damage perfect. Of course, we're going for Archery Range, Garrison Barracks, Spellcaster's Lodge, Garrison Stable. And now, of course, we're going Hospital, Mercenary Guild, Pathfinder Society Lodge, nah. Sanctuary, I don't care, Warehouse, Supply Center, Shelter. Garrison Hall of Champions. Recruitment growth, 25%. Well, that's not bad. 5%, sure, and let's increase time of siege by 3 days. I mean, that's the front line. That's kind of important to delay the inevitable. So we're going north and Camp of the Mammoth Lords, yes. Build, the same again. Training grounds, teleportation circle, supplies, I don't care. Smithy, yes. Sanctuary, Pathfinder Lodge. Yes, monument, of course. Military car, I don't care. Mercenary Guild, it's relatively important. The hospital. Pathfinder says no. Hall of Glory. Ah yes, Garrison Stable, Spellcaster Lodge, Hall of Champions. Garrison Barracks, Archery Range. No, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. An archery range there, so we can benefit from increased damage. Archery range, goodbye. Archery range, Garrison Barracks, and we're going with Citadel. Perfect. Okay, so we're here. Old Sakorian Mines. Yeah, that's what we're going to do next. Oh, there's Ease already. Ease is already free. Interesting. Is that endgame? When we go for Ease, does that mean that we initiate the end? Or is that just one part? I'm not sure. Going to decide today. Okay, so we're done with you, Crusader Army. We got Calavacusis. That's ridiculous. We have demons now. What the heck? Okay. Okay. That's a bit odd, but why not? So, please go ahead and join the army. Hedge Knights. Well, we have too many troops. So you go south of Treslin, please. Okay, we'll give them a decent name now. Oh yes. Dresden Defenders 2. Perfect. And also Korean mines show around. The ore mines of Socorus stopped operating long ago, and their old shafts are either collapsed or inhabited by creatures one would prefer not to meet. Perhaps Captain Salkin can be found in the area where his patrol perished. The place must have drawn his interest if he sent soldiers to investigate.
I will help where I can.
Warrior was slain presumably by a mage who attacked him with sword strikes and a barrage of spells. That's bad.
Whatever.
I'm off!
What are we supposed to find here exactly? I mean, there's nobody here.
I do what I must!
Whatever.
I'm gone.
Salkind. Captain Salkind looks much thinner, dustier and more exhausted than before, but he is as determined and optimistic as ever. A meeting I did not expect. Allow me to congratulate you on your return from your expedition to the Abyss. Why did you leave Dresden? My disagreements with the top brass become insurmountable. I treated our expedition here like a rescue mission from the very beginning. I'll tell them that they were refugees behind enemy lines, full of people who needed our help. Last leadership was only interested in how much Nerosian would pay for the chopped off heads of demon and cultists. After just a few months, I sent their emissaries and tried to remove me from command. I don't mind facing a court of my comrades, but who would carry on with my mission? So I left town and had a little adventure of my own. What are you doing here? Salkind flexes his fingers, grimacing in pain. Digging. I spent the last 3 days shoveling dirt. After they forced me to leave Dresden and the Blackstone Company, I fully devoted myself to archaeological excavations. When you discovered my missing patrol in the area, I had a hunch that I'd be moving in the right direction, and I was correct. I bet there is a Sarkorian settlement hiding just behind this door. I'd like to believe that there will be living Sarkorians in there. Unfortunately, I ran into some difficulties and was about to go for help when you showed up. As you can see, there's a giant door, and it won't budge. So I needed a nuclear warhead, so I was about to travel back through time. And I'm not going to finish that sentence. Swarm Mythic Path. Interesting. Devour Salkind. There won't be enough bones left of you to spawn this game. You can be everything. This dragon is constantly changing its color. Beautiful. How did you know to look here? It really is simple. There was a mining town called Susfell, not far from here. According to achieved records, the demons razed it, but 14 years after the world wound opened, a Sarkorian refuge in Mendov had a strange vision. Refugee. He was a shaman, and in a trance, his ancestors told him that some of his kinsmen were still alive, waiting to be rescued from the prison of stone. Subsequent genealogical research confirmed that these kinsmen used to live in this town. As for the prison of stone, I think the hint was pretty clear. I sought refuge in the caves below. It looks like you could use some help. That would be very kind of you. I managed to uncover this door, but opening it without any tools is beyond my capabilities. I found a poor fellow buried under the rocks, a Khalid, judging by his appearance. If you can help get his body out from under the rubble, I can use it to prove that my theory is correct. Then I will be able to return here on a full-fledged expedition. Well, let's not waste time. All together now. We should search the body. Ugh. Oh dear. Oh, key from the cave. A key of Sakorian design. Judging by its length, the corresponding lock must be colossal. Oh, and this colossal key was hidden in where? His pocket crevices? A bunch of pale and emaciated humans wearing blue rags look at you with fearful eyes. Their leader is an old man. Who are you? Are you demons? Clutching a pickaxe with hands that still have strength in them, the old man mutters to his fellows, "My father said demons have red eyes and spew fire out of their asses. Is it possible the buggers have grown less nasty over the years?" "We're no demons, old man. We're crusaders, the sworn enemies of demons." The grey-haired man lowers his weapon and turns to his comrades with obvious doubt. "Crusaders? Who are they? Father never told me about them, but if you aren't demons, welcome." The old man makes a serious effort to crack an affable smile. "So they were here since before the first crusade. Oh dear. Now tell me, a crusader, or whatever you are, what's happening on the surface? How far away are your forces? When will we be rescued? How soon will Sakoris beat back the demons?" "We'll drive the demons away soon, but I've bad news to bear about Sakoris. It fell over 100 years ago." The old man's face grows dark. "So that's how it is then. Sakoris is no more. Our kinsmen, our clans, our country, everything's gone. Devour the poor souls huddling at the walkie. You've brought ill tidings, and many sad songs will be sung around our fire tonight. Who are you?" "What do you mean, who are you? We live here, you know. This place was called Mineshaft, 14 back when they mined iron here. Then, after demons poured out of the stinking world wound, the miners and local folks hid down here and sealed the door behind them. That's how we survived. We've been waiting for outside help ever since, while 4 generations were born right here in this cave, but our compatriots don't seem to be in a hurry to mount a rescue." The old man's voice rings with bitterness. "Amazing. A genuine Can you please stop Goodness. A culture completely isolated from outside influences. This is what I call unearthing a priceless treasure." Salkind addresses the old man with passionate interest. "Do you know how many years have passed since then? Do you take us for savages? Of course we do. We would have vanished in the Dark Ages ago if we weren't counting time. Do you know what it feels like when nothing ever changes? When you can't tell the difference between minutes, hours, or days? That's creepy, Sonny. So we take turns keeping track by counting heartbeats. We change every 15,000 pulses. Ay. Merk is the one counting now." The old man nods toward a stocky miner right next to him, who looks a bit absent-minded and sometimes moves his lips silently. "Have you ever tried to escape? Do we look like people with a death wish? Or do you take us for boulder-brained fools? Everybody knows there's death outside, with stinking demons rampaging all over the place. Suppose we do get out. What next? Where would we get to? How would we survive? We've never seen the sun in the sky, so everybody would be blind. We've never felt grass under our feet or smelt breezes wafting from the fields. The world would be dangerous and strange. No, we'd rather stay here, where it is safe and where the darkness is our own. How do you even survive here? Words start pouring from the old man's mouth like water from a broken dam. It is clear he has been waiting for the chance to recite his list of woes. We survive solely by the god's providence. Thank goodness for that. Our existence is tolerable, although things could certainly be better. When our ancestors entered the mine shaft and sealed themselves in there, we realized they had nothing but rocks to eat and nothing but dirt to pour down their throats. And so the priests gathered and prayed to the three deities, Erastil, Gothri, and Pelura, beseeching them to protect us. And that night, a stream sprung in the deepest tunnel. Everybody thought they were about to die, that everybody would drown before they even got the chance to starve, but the stream formed a lake. Then the water stopped and never rose any higher. Thus our ancestors got water, fish, and moisture for growing mushrooms in the caves, plus a sign that they had not been forgotten by the gods. The old man spits out a glob of platinum. Ach, and what a sign it was. Have you ever tried subsisting on the fish and fungi? Just fish, fungi, fish, fungi, fish, fungi, fish, fungi, fish, fungi, fish, fungi. Oh, each day until the end of your life. Had our ancestors been smart, they would have prayed for the gods to teach them to eat rocks. We have rocks aplenty, all kinds. But no, we do not complain. Instead, we humbly give thanks to our blessed patrons. There is an ancient temple not far from the mine shaft. We call it the Shrine of the Three. Judging by its direction, it's exactly where our spring comes from. Except, the foreman falters and grimly stares at the cold rocks underfoot. There is a limit to any miracle. Have some misfortune befallen you? Misfortune? We have a word for this misfortune, but you're too young to hear such obscenities. Our stream has gone bad. The water in it has become foul and rotten, barely fit to drink. The fish in this poison just die while we waste away from stomach cramps. We had no choice but to send one of us to scout the shrine, the luckiest one, gods be damned. He was gone for 3 days then. We heard rattling at the door, as if someone was starting to unlock it. A deafening crash followed. The rocks behind the door rumbled, dirt flowed, and then there was silence. We couldn't even unlock the door to see what happened on the other side. One thing was clear, our lucky guy was dead. Now you've shown up. Mayhap, you've been sent by the gods. Do you mind checking what happened at the Shrine of the Three? You're used to moving around in the open, quite unlike us. Brigadier's words betray a hint of jealousy. The captain turns to you and speaks quietly but forcefully. Not helping them would make us criminals in the eyes of humanity and history. I'll deal with your problems. The old man nods gratefully and croaks. That's good, outsider. Do not fail us. We've already had our fair share of suffering. The foreman makes a brief arcane gesture, and you feel a gentle breeze caress your face. Warding spells protect the shrine, but they will not harm you as long as you bear my mark. I want to know more about the shrine of the three. Our ancestors visited this shrine to pray to the three gods who look after our people. Legends say that before the shrine was dedicated to Erastil, Pelura, and Gothri, it was associated with an older set of gods whose names are now forgotten. It is said that they went into exile to worlds outside our own, beyond our knowledge. When demons spewed forth from the world wound, the god-callers who safeguarded that place squared off against them and lost. The very last of them sealed the shrine, fled his protection, and joined a group of his frightened kinsmen who looked for refuge. It was my father, the last god-caller in our family. I have heard so much about this sacred tradition. God-callers would contact lesser deities of Sarkoris, clan gods, and sometimes even patrons of individual families. Many scholars even believe them to be not deities proper, but powerful spirits from the entourage of real gods. The captain notices the foreman's scathing glare, then immediately corrects himself, but that mistake is doubtlessly caused by lack of truthful knowledge about Sarkoris and its culture. I have some questions about how you survive down here. The old man adjusts the blue rags on his shoulders, then nods regally. Ask away if you're that curious. I am the foreman, and I speak for all of the mineshaft. Tell me more about this place. How do mushrooms taste after you've eaten 1 trillion of them? Oh, terrible. The foreman's voice is filled with a mixture of pride and bitterness. But mushrooms all we know, mushrooms all we like, mushrooms all we need. We are the mushroom brothers and sisters. Alrighty. The mineshaft is our home, by the way. It's a large and glorious mine, except nobody ever expects humans to dwell here. The top passages were exhausted ages ago, and we used this space to build our homes. Down below is the Great Hall, where our clan gathers to discuss matters of importance, listen to stories, and cook our food. And there's a crack in the rocks that sucks out the smoke and allows fresh air to trickle in. The small tunnels run deep. They are very damp and good for all kinds of mushrooms. Oh my goodness. There is a lake at the very bottom. They say our ancestors used to fish using bait. Bugs and worms, that kind of thing. But we spear our food, we dive in the deep, and stab fish with a pointy stick. It's called a spear. Our home is a harsh mistress. It wasn't built for man, it was built for work. But what can we do? What are those clothes you're wearing? They're mining overalls. What do you expect us to make new clothes from? Fish scales? These garments were worn by our forefathers, and they are the only thing from the surface that we have left. We patch them up the best we can, but they get threadbare anyway. We'll be walking stark naked in a generation or two, like kobolds or some other beasts, but that's alright as long as our descendants keep counting time so we don't turn wild. If we forget time, we'll become animals, grow fangs and eyes as big as saucers, then we'll devour one another. The old man grimaces. That's a nice story and sure to keep people counting time. What's your name? I was named Jarosen at birth, but the last 24 years people have simply been calling me a foreman. It started in the times of my father, foreman, and the eldest dweller of the mine has been called foreman ever since. The old man strokes his head and his hair. My father was a great man, a pious priest, a leader, a god-caller. Alas, he could not teach me to call the gods, and he carried his knowledge with him to the grave. But my family honors his memory. I have to go. Since you are not a demon, go. And make sure to wear a hat or the sun will burn your head. The old man delivers his parting words with earnestness, as if he really believes you are in serious danger. With your permission, I would like to stay with these people. I can't wait to learn. I must ensure that the inhabitants of the mine are in no danger now that we've unsealed it. Okay?
We do it my way.
Whatever.
Follow
I
if you
found
dare.
Something.
That was easy.
Whatever.
Is that a trap? It might be a trap.
Whatever.
I do what I must.
And this old mine shaft is a story for another episode.